Story time on how I actually started a virtual assistant business with no experience in this industry. So in light of my business about to turn 6, I wanted to go back in time and kind of walk you guys through the logistics of getting started and how we ended up here. So it was March 2020. Obviously that time in life was a shit show. Myself and my partner had just gone to Thailand. We were supposed to go on an around the world trip. Obviously that got cancelled. And we had done a lot of toing and froing, working, saving up, quitting, repeating the cycle again and again. And we were ready to do something else, something new, but we weren't sure what that was. So when the pandemic happened in March, we were in Thailand and we were like, right, this is our opportunity to put something into place. I have been listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, I'd done TEFL course, I'd done all the things on like how to make money online. So I was like, right, let's just try one of these things. And I came from an admin and finance background. My partner came from, he was a geologist in a mine site. So we're kind of like, what could we do? So I had seen something about being a virtual assistant online. So I was like, right, let's try this thing. And I had some faith in it because I had actually met in a hostel in Southeast Asia. I met a girl who did podcast management. So not a virtual assistant, but it's very similar in terms of as an online service provider business. So I met her in person. My partner and I had also gone to Bali. We saw loads of people who were working remotely, working online, running legitimate businesses. We were very inspired by that. So this seems like the one with the lowest barrier of entry because I was like, right, I have admin skills, like you have skills, I'm sure we can, do something. So that's what we did. We literally got the idea. The next day we thought of a business name, not a very good one, but look, we move. And we started a basic social media page. We didn't do everything in the right order, but we did put ourselves out there and we went hunting for clients. I mean, hunting. And we landed our first client in 7 days. And I remember to this day, it was for $200 a month. And she worked with us for 1.5 years. And I remember once we got that client, that money hit my bank account, I was like, we're onto something. Like, $200 while we're living in Thailand, this is like good money. And if there's one of her, there's more of her. So that really revved us up to go hunting for more clients, and we did, and we got to a full book of clients where we basically had no more time left within about 7 or 8 weeks, which was obviously amazing. And to be honest, we basically stayed at that fully booked capacity for the duration of our business. We always had a 28-day clause in our contract if someone wanted to finish up working with us. So it meant that if anyone ever wrapped up their contract, we would have 28 days to find a new client. Again, we had these techniques that we used. We went hunting for clients, and we were always able to replace them within that 28 days before a client wrapped up. And we traveled the world full time, traveled Southeast Asia, we went to Mexico, all different parts of Europe, for 2.5 years with our virtual assistant business. And you know what, if we never started that, we would never have had that life. And who knows what would have happened. I probably would have had to come back to Ireland. Adam might have had to go back to Australia. Our visa situation was still messy at that stage. So with the pandemic, I'm not sure if we could have went somewhere together. So it's just some food for thought. If you were thinking about doing something, even if it's scary, this was so scary. I was petrified. The first few months were really rough. It was so new and so daunting and so out of my comfort zone, but it has made me such a more confident person. I'm so much more sure of myself, my decisions, where I want to be. I've ended up finding my career, my passion life, what I actually want to do. And that is just from trial and error and actually trying stuff. So if you were someone who is looking to start an online business or start a side hustle, you don't have to make radical decisions. I had already quit my job at that stage. I was already traveling. So it was a different story. But if you're someone who, you have responsibilities, start it as a side hustle. There is literally so minimal risks involved. With starting as a side hustle, you would be surprised how much you'll personally grow and how many options it can give you by having a business. And if you're wanting to explore this option more, you can head to the link in my bio. You can book in a free call. I offer these as a chance to just meet, talk about the virtual assistant industry, talk about if it is for you, and we can then talk about if you want to work together, because my business has then pivoted into being a virtual assistant coach where I mentor people who are in my position, how to set up their business, launch it, land clients, keep clients, upskill clients, all the good stuff. And that's just where my business has kind of brought me, and just with the demand, that's what ended up making sense, and I absolutely love it. But I would never have been in this position if I had never started back in 2020 and done the scary thing and just started something and just see where it brought me.